Our world and the lives that we live in it today are made possible by amazing engineering and manufacturing feats. The buildings we live in, the vehicles we drive, the device you're watching this from. But all these are made from carbon and resource-intensive processes. And for too long, we have ignored the unintended consequences on our planet and us, the human beings who live on it. We have made things in smarter, faster, and stronger ways. But now we have to channel that same human ingenuity and perseverance to make our products in a more sustainable way.
Jiehui is a second-generation leader at Ichiseki, a precision engineering firm run by her family. After spending 8 years championing sustainability in the non-profit sector, she's now on a mission to green her company's operations.
Hello, welcome to my garden. So we're sort of in a little utility yard in my house that has become my edible garden ever since circuit breaker. Almost all of my plants actually were more or less like seeds given by friends. So this one, Indian borage. That's ginger. This is kangkong, but we just harvested, so it's very bare. I wish I could spend an hour every morning, but reality is that I go to the office every day. So this is sort of the way in which I start my day, kind of move my mind into a different space, and then get myself sort of really settled in for the day before we start work. Hello, Jasmine. So I'm driving on the way to office now. Do you think we need to arrange for a Zoom call or in-person meeting with Robin's side, or don't need?
I need some info from Cole, so maybe give them 2 more days.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jiehui. I am turning 34 this year, and I'm the Business Development Manager at Ichiseki. I definitely still see myself as a newbie in this industry. My role now is business development. Previously, it was actually a pretty inward-facing role where I was doing marketing and branding, but that was not directly facing any customers or suppliers for the business. And because of my background, what I'm trying to move in the direction of is exploring sustainability solutions for precision engineering that I can kind of be working with institutions on to bring into our sector. Ichiseki is a company that was founded in Singapore in 1988, and we supply metal cutting machinery, largely to the precision engineering sector. What this means is that we essentially bring in equipment that cuts up metal in all kinds of different ways, and we then provide after-sales services for these machines. CNC, which you hear a lot in our industry, it's an acronym for Computer Numerical Control Machines. You will see like the control panel, which people kind of constantly pressing buttons on. That actually is a computer that's controlling how the machine is moving. It is at the very beginning of many manufacturing processes. It is making like the hinges, the sort of very complex parts that go into a plane, that go into your cell phone, that go into all kinds of things that we see in our lives. Over the years, actually, we've moved from just selling the machine as a product on its own to actually providing engineering solutions as a service as well.
我们公司是在1988年，大概是33年前开始创立了。当时凭着一股干劲热忱，就是放弃了一个非常好的那个高薪水的这个业务经理的职务。当时最主要的想法就是希望通过自己的热忱创业，然后让自己能够有一个机会提供更好的这个服务给客户们。我才大概是29岁，也开始要步入准备结婚的那个阶段了，所以也是非常的不容易啊。一方面要兼顾这个事业，又一方面要兼顾人生的大事，所以双方面都必须要兼顾，也真的不容易。那目前Jiehui我的大女儿也毅然的决定在去年加入公司的团队一起工作。我想Jiehui决定重新加入公司，主要我想是在他这8年做环保顾问的这个工作环境里面，也接触到了很多杰出的第2代企业界的朋友，所以在这样的一个环境里面也许触发了这个Jiehui想要重新加入第一金鸡我们公司把他的理念在这个基础里面去发扬光大。Jiehui在小学的时候一切都可以这么说是非常自然的发展，到中学他的成绩都不错，高中到大学，我们作为父母亲的都没有太大的顾虑，也没有给他任何的压力，让他自由的发挥发展。
I think my family is quite a loving family. I don't think we are necessarily the kind of people who would say I love you to each other all the time. Still traditional in that sense, but definitely a supportive family. You could say that personality-wise, perhaps I'm more like my father.
Very pleasant, very pleasant.
I think my father, the fact that he can sort of go through really, really tough times, have really stressful situations, sometimes when he recounts what's gone on, I feel stressed on his behalf, but he is able to sort of, first of all, carry it and then also let it go and actually still get a good night's sleep. So I think that is so critical when you're a business owner and still always see the positive side of things and also be optimistic about the outcome. So I hope that that aspect of him is something that I have picked up. After graduation from NUS, I had an internship with the Economic Development Board of Singapore, EDB. I had the great opportunity to take on the communications portfolio for sustainability-related industries within Singapore. I think quite soon after, I was very drawn to a position at an organization called Forum for the Future. It's a sustainability non-profit that was founded in the UK, and they were opening an office in Singapore. I remember that I was with my father in Shanghai, and I was secretly applying for the job because I didn't think I would get it, but I really wanted to give it a shot. Lo and behold, I got into the final round, and I had to have this conversation with my family about doing something that I felt really was quite important, because here was an international NGO that was working with very powerful private sector companies. But what I really believe in was that we have to have all private sector companies actually contribute positively to the environment and society as part of the way they make money. So yeah, that became 8 years of my life, and in 2019 gave my ex-bosses a 1-year notice that I was going to leave Forum and join Ishiseki, and here I am today.
We can get Jiehui to come in and for further discussion.
Yes.
Morning.
Hi, morning.
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 Just like to keep Philip updated.
So I had a discussion with Philip Kia, our managing director, also my father, and our executive director, Jane Low. She's a backbone of our company. She's been running our operations for 30 years by now. She has recently been to Nanyang Poly and saw this device that helps to monitor the coolant condition in the machines.
So maybe we can actually assign someone to work closely with the team.
Yeah, I think this is a good suggestion to cooperate with this Nanyang Polytechnic.
Students at Nanyang Polytechnic are working on a new coolant monitoring system. The coolant that goes into machines is typically recycled. What the system does is help users monitor the quality of those recycled coolants, so more coolant is saved and machines run as efficiently as they can.
What we call coolant in the precision engineering sector is basically a fluid that you're using in our CNC machines to reduce the heat that's produced when the machine is cutting metal. This chemical, while really critical to the processes, is actually considered a hazardous chemical. So coolant management is a process that can benefit from some automated monitoring because it just means you don't have to actually manually take out some of the fluid to do the testing. You can have a device that essentially tells you in real time all these parameters of the coolant.
Many of our customers has already started to implement the automation system.
My question is, will it be too costly for them? Do you think they can accept it?
I think Philip understands that this is something which is relevant in our industry. It is a problem, but his main concern definitely would be the cost that customers have to put up to install something like that. I'm sure in his mind there is a certain price point that it shouldn't exceed, and working with the school maybe will help us to find ways to keep the cost low.
Thirty-four-year-old Kia Jiehui is heir to her family's engineering business. Since joining the company, she's decided to make operations more sustainable.
This morning we are here at Nanyang Polytechnic. Jane is actually bringing me here to meet with the team from the engineering school who are introducing us to the coolant monitoring device that they have come up with.
The school has a prototype of their automated coolant management system. It monitors the temperature, pH value, and level of coolant in use. Smarter management of coolants could help companies achieve cost savings. It could also result in reduced coolant use.
The current practice in industry is most of the CNC machines, the system only able to tell the user what is the maximum coolant level and the minimum coolant level. There isn't any accurate reading in between the minimum and the maximum level.
This is the pH meter. This will be thrown into the tank to measure the pH level of the coolant. And then similar to this, yes, this is a waterproof temperature probe that will also be dropped into the tank to measure the temperature. And this is the ultrasonic sensor that will measure the coolant level. So all the data will be stored in a centralized database, and this whole system is programmed such that when the coolant level falls below a certain level, it will give off a light to indicate that the coolant level is too low.
So these two pails here, they represent two separate coolant tanks on two machines.
Yes, yes. Reason for that, we made it in a way to have two machines because first it saves cost and it saves a lot of time. It's a lot more efficient this way. Sensor. So for this one, right?
Jiehui sees the system offered as an add-on to her customers' machines.
So once we're done, we'll have all four. Following this,
It'll be good for Jiehui's sales since it helps her customers save money.
so it's easily digestible for
A sustainability solution that's good for business too.
I find it really exciting that in the school setting, they are actually helping to solve real-world industry problems. I'm really hoping that by working with the polys at this stage where it's product development, we also get exposure to the students, they get exposure to our company.
It's very rare that students get the opportunity to work on industry projects, but now we get to see the project come to life and how it gets implemented to a machine. So I think it's pretty interesting and cool.
I don't expect it to work perfectly fine, but we know what to expect. So if there's any challenges, I'm sure we can solve them. We can do it well, do it smoothly.
Okay, put it back first.
The team arrives at Ichiseki.
Okay. Then
Over the next few weeks, their coolant management system will be put through the paces in a real-world setting. For Jiehui, this testing is an important step before she introduces the device to her clients.
for one machine each. Just that I did not connect it. Then if you are interested on this machine, you can. This is
Surprisingly, it's actually really quite easy. It's plug and play, we've managed to get it up and running in less than half an hour. So what's going to happen next is we will spend about 2 to 3 weeks actually monitoring the device in our showroom. So our engineers have a chance to get familiar with it. And one of our VIP customers has kindly agreed to let us test this out in their workshop. So we will be bringing this device to their workshop and putting it on 2 of their machines.
It's the weekend, and Jiehui is back in the office,
This is all the pens from Tampines Library.
working on a sustainability project, which she started in her university days.
This project is called Save That Pen. Today we're sorting out the pens that we have collected from Tampines Library's bin and categorizing them by brand. So there's Pilot, there's Zebra, there's Uniball. If the pen still works, we put it into something called Adopt. These pens are usually given out to underprivileged students through various NGO groups. Save That Pen is a project that I founded with 3 other friends back in my university days, and it's been running for more than 10 years now. Here we've got 2 of my co-founders, Shihan and Heishan, and then our guest for today is Maria. So right now I'm refilling this Zebra Sarasa pen. And what we will do is that when we give it out, we actually pair it with an additional refill that's for the right model so that the person who receives it can use it again. When people ask how our team actually kept the project going for more than 10 years, it's really because we enjoy working with each other, and it's not linked to any of the daily pressures of our work life or even family life. So honestly, volunteering is something that's enjoyable. It's not just giving back to society. I find it very meaningful and fun.
After testing the coolant monitoring device at Ichiseki's showroom for weeks, Jiehui is at Certact Engineering to facilitate the device installation.
Hi, morning, Elise. Morning. Today, I'm personally very excited. It will be the first time that we've been introducing this coolant monitoring device in an industry setting. Morning, Keith. This is Elise from Certact Engineering. This is Keith. He's the leader for this device.
Today, right, we are going to install.
Certact Engineering is a VIP customer of Ichiseki. In recent years, they've actually been growing from strength to strength despite the COVID disruptions. So not only have they been adopting a lot of this Industry 4.0 solutions for automation and helping to upskill their employees with this new technology, they are also really interested in sustainability solutions.
We were actually thinking that is there a way that we can monitor this coolant in a more effective and efficient methods. We are trying to see that if these devices are able to make the quality of the coolants better and to also to let us know when is the time to change the coolant.
By being better informed, Certact could use coolants for longer, meaning less disposals of coolants. An outcome that would be good for the environment.
So we will install an alarm on the small unit that will flash and make a noise as well once the coolant level is below a certain level, so that your team will know that you all have to refill the coolant tank.
Oh, all right.
So we already done the installation. So what is happening right now is both of the system is connected to internet. So all the readings collected via the microcontroller, it will send to the database. User or any operators here, they can directly go to this website and they will have a clear view on what is the actual reading on each of the machines. So you've got two machines, they can actually...
This is really one of the first small solutions that we are trying to introduce at Ishiseki to help to improve sustainability in precision engineering. So individual companies reducing their waste, it might not make a very significant impact environmentally just with one company, but we have hundreds of SMEs in the precision engineering sector in Singapore. And if all of us combine, put in this effort to reduce our material waste, I really think it can make a huge difference and help Singapore to achieve our 2030 climate goals. When we think about air pollution, we think about haze in Singapore. We think about very much like particles in the atmosphere that we breathe in, and it causes harm to our respiratory system. So that is true as well in industry, but we don't think as much about the indoor air pollution that is happening.
Jiehui spent 8 years working in an NGO before she joined her family business. Currently, she is the business development manager at Ishiseki, a precision engineering firm. Jiehui also wants to make the business more sustainable. She's now working to improve the air quality in the precision engineering workshops.
When there is a closed system, it actually means that the air that is constantly recirculating, if you don't actually actively treat it or air it, that can actually end up making the building a very sick building. Specifically in precision engineering, the coolant, when it's being used in the machines, because they do evaporate essentially and becomes mist, so when you open the machine, this mist is escaping into the indoor environment where our machines are being used. This actually means that now this hazardous chemical in a mist form is being breathed in by the workers in that workshop environment.
Evaporated coolants, formed as mist, can be harmful when breathed in. Workers risk developing asthma, bronchitis, irritation of the respiratory system, and difficulties in breathing.
We haven't really had a large-scale implementation of monitoring devices that helps us to understand the air quality in a real-time manner in our workshops. I'm here at Republic Plaza. I'm going to be learning about the indoor air quality monitoring device that Yuhoo has.
Yuhoo is a startup that's developed an indoor air quality measuring device.
With Yuhoo, the company's mission is very clear that they are introducing a product that can help companies to better understand their air quality and to improve the workplace health and well-being across different sectors. So So Raymond, tell me about the device that you have here.
This is our latest product, the Yuhoo Aura. So it's able to measure up to 15 parameters air quality. The common ones that you always see people measuring will be temperature, humidity, carbon dioxide, VOCs, and PM 2.5 particles in the air.
So with this information, how will your customers use this data?
Our customers either log on to our web dashboard, you'll be able to see all your devices in the dashboard in the building. The other way that our clients use it is they'll be able to integrate the data onto their mobile apps. For example, in this City Nexus app from CDL, they are able to show the tenants temperature, humidity, PM 2.5, carbon dioxide, and VOC levels in the air. The premise of it is you can only manage what you can measure. So having all this complete information and granular data gives you the confidence to make data-driven decisions to help you in the surroundings.
Today, I was actually hoping to see a number of the devices in place. Unfortunately, due to the COVID restrictions, we were not actually able to go into all the different levels in the office building to look at exactly where the devices were placed. So I think that it does look like the right kind of equipment that we should test out. My main concern is that it might not be able to withstand the very kind of harsh industrial workshop environment where there's a lot of different types of oil in the air. I'm not sure whether it will affect the sensors. So hoping to test this out with a research partner before we actually introduce it to the industry.
Today, Jiehui is at Foodbank Singapore, where she spends some weekends volunteering. She first became acquainted with the founders through the Family Business Network Asia, an organization dedicated to supporting family businesses worldwide. Other volunteers today also happen to be scions of family empires.
Volunteering at Foodbank Singapore is a really good way for me to meet fellow next generation business leaders and also just contribute to a cause that I really believe in. I've known about Foodbank Singapore from its very initial founding. Back then, I was already very impressed that it was something that the next generation leaders, they started as an offshoot of the existing family business. I really felt like this is the most meaningful way that businesses can contribute.
Even though it's a first world country, Singapore actually 1 in 10 people are food insecure. So that's why Foodbank exists, and that's what we try to do is just to eliminate this food insecurity and to make sure everybody get fed.
350, yeah? Quantity 1.
In general, we would like to engage all volunteers, but as a next gen myself of a family business, I feel it's very important to engage the next gen because I think all next gen now don't just care about earning money and running the business, but also giving back to society. They are also a good source of volunteers, and if we can engage the businesses and the next gen people well, they would be able to become long-term volunteers with Foodbank. I've known Jiehui a few years back, and through talking to her, I realized that both of us have been involved with the food sustainability programs in Singapore since 2015. She has also been volunteering at Foodbank more consistently since last year, and I've got to thank her because she's been coming down quite often.
I first met Jiehui about 5 years ago when we were working in the same office called the SDG Co. I know now when she has food, she's also conscious about, oh, where did this food come from? And, is it sustainable? And how much water, how much energy was used to produce this food? And I think this spills over to her corporate life or her family business now as well. I can see that Jiehui is super passionate about sustainability. So I think she's the real deal. She walks the talk, and no one's perfect. I think we're all on this journey together to try and make the world a more sustainable place.
I don't know whether it's a weird analogy, but in the same way that I kind of enjoy gardening, I think when you're doing something that's quite physical and you're very task-oriented and there's a very clear kind of series of things to do, it's actually quite relaxing in some ways. Like I'm not having to kind of think about my busy schedule or what's this kind of proposal that's due or anything like that. I guess we also jokingly call it our workout for our weekends. So I'm here at Singapore Polytechnic today with Raymond from Yuhoo to meet Mr. Noraza.
Noraza lectures at the School of Mechanical and Aeronautical Engineering. He's letting Jiehui test Yuhoo's air quality monitoring systems at his school workshop to learn if they are suitable for industry use.
This device hasn't really been tested over time in machining workshops where it can actually be quite harsh. So we need to know that the device can be stable and accurately monitoring the air quality parameters over months and years.
Okay, so we have installed a few Yuhoo devices around the workshop in the indoor areas as well as the outdoor areas. So from there, you can see your indoor air quality, how it measures up during different times of the day. Especially so if you are running your machinery and equipment. So the things that we are generally looking at will be your TVOCs, your PM particle matters in the air.
Can I know what is TVOC?
Sure. VOCs are volatile organic compounds, so they exist very often in the air as well. And like I mentioned before, too high levels of these is very dangerous to health of the building occupants. And it's important for us to be able to measure parameters like that because a lot of them tend to be odorless as well. So you won't even know that you're exposed.
Mr. Azhar, I understand that after these devices are installed, your student group is going to be doing it as part of a study for the FYP?
Yes, now that we have these sensors installed at our workshop, the indoor and outdoor workshops, so what we're going to do is they're going to collect all those data, take a look at it, analyze it, and then we're going to present to you and see how we can move on from there. With all this knowledge that they gather from this particular project, I'm hoping that they can leverage on this technology that they have learned and eventually opens more door for them to enter the workforce.
In terms of the sustainability element of this project, this is really focused on workplace health and well-being. And we always want to improve the working environment for all the employees in precision engineering. And I would say that air quality is one area that increasingly many business owners are looking at and looking to improve this so that we are able to attract workers and also retain them over the long period of time. We are now at Woodlands at our customer's factory, JCS Ichigo. So today we are actually going to deliver 3 new machines to them, and you'll see behind the machine movers currently unloading the first of the 3 machines. Delivering our machines is actually really quite a challenge. So it really takes a lot of professionalism to do this in a safe way. So I understand that today we will just be doing the positioning and then alignment of the machines.
Okay.
Then tomorrow our team will come over to do the testing and commissioning of the machine.
Yeah, probably today you're not able to do it.
Yeah. The lady boss, Elise Hong, the executive director of the company, is our customer, but she also is currently SPETA's chairman. SPETA is the Precision Engineering Trade Association, and she's the first female chairperson actually of this traditionally male-dominated precision engineering sector. After joining Ichiseki, I also have been partaking in SPETA activities quite actively, and specifically I'm actually heading up the sustainability committee within SPETA at the moment. So really glad that Elise is very supportive of our sustainability efforts. Hi, morning. Hey, hi, Wei.
Hello, good to see you
Hey,
again.
good to see you again. Yeah. Oh, so we've got Daniel online already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Hey, hi, Daniel. Morning. Thanks for joining us.
Daniel Heath de Silva and Lim Wei Young work closely with Jiehui on solar and other energy efficiency projects within SPETA. Within the trio, there's a dilemma: whether to encourage SPETA members To pursue renewable energy at the offset, or to focus first on conserving energy?
I think definitely we should start off with energy assessment first, because without looking at the energy use profile of our member companies, we don't really know where are the gaps, and jumping straight into solar might not be the most effective way to help.
So for solar, what's good is probably that it's very visible. You can see and touch and feel it. And I literally see my monthly bill, reduced in the sense that this much is now from my roof, right? It feels really good. What do you think?
Actually, I'm just really excited to look towards the solar as being a very key point in our SPETA's development. Because recently we had the government saying we wanted to have at least 2 gigawatt of power for Singapore by 2030, and that is what SPETA is also trying to achieve in a very small way.
I would say in Singapore we have about 2,000 to 3,000 PE companies, and how many of them actually have their own rooftops? Many of them are actually in the JDC flatter factories where they don't actually own their rooftops. So how do they take advantage of solar?
Wei Yang's point of view is that I do believe it makes sense. You should look at your own energy use first, assess where you can cut your own energy, and then after that you replace whatever energy you cannot reduce with solar as an energy source.
Hey man.
Hey, hi, morning.
Hi. Okay, so this is Jiehui from Ichiseki. So I'd like to introduce...
To help Jiehui better understand what an energy assessment looks like, Wei Yang introduces her to the Singapore Institute of Technology's Energy Assessment Team. The team can formulate an energy usage profile for Ichiseki using a variety of tools.
Yeah, so today we are here to actually look at your energy systems to look for areas of improvement. Show you what we're going to do today.
Okay, cool.
Yes, thanks, Cheryl. So these are the main 3 lines, electricity lines that is coming from the power grid to your facility. So anything below here is your facility. There are 3 lines with 1 neutral that is coming in. We will be measuring this power input. We will be setting our power meter over here.
On my end, I think assign a facilities manager to work with your team. We can get started today, that means?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Then let's go.
CFL, compact fluorescent lamp.
ETC actually stands for Energy Efficiency Technology Center. This is a technology innovation center that was set up in collaboration between the Singapore Institute of Technology and the National Environment Agency.
Now we are going to set up this.
Energy efficiency simply means performing the same task with less energy. The goal is to reduce energy wastage and ultimately reducing your carbon emissions as well. So let's take the compressed air system as an example. After doing the assessment and the team finds that you have leaks of about 50% of all air that's being compressed in the system. Typically, after implementing the recommendations that were given after the assessment, you could probably see about 30 to 40% of savings just on the compressor alone. Just one system can give you this kind of savings. Imagine what would happen if you did an assessment for all the different energy-consuming systems.
I'm really quite excited. Definitely never seen the building in this light before. Never thought about the compressed air or the electrical usage in that way. The EETC team will be then generating a report to us where they tell us about how we use our energy, but also give us some recommendations on how we can improve on our energy use. Today we are here at PLC. PLC is one of Ichiseki's customers that have adopted both solar and also energy monitoring on their machines. So today I'm here to come and find out more.
So over here we have our energy sensors that is tied individually to each machine that you see behind you. So from this we're able to tell if we need to do any machine maintenance or is there any other energy losses that we can look into to come in to sort of reduce our energy usage in the long run.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So it's one meter per machine, is
Yes,
it?
correct. So every individual meter is tied to all the machines in this unit.
Right.
Then the closest one that you see, 65B, is the one right behind us.
Ah, I see, I see.
Then the reading will let us know if there's any losses or if there's a sudden peak, then we know we have to carry out maintenance.
Okay.
So this is our solar panels. We have a total of 234 panels that spreads across our entire roof, across our 3 units. This is able to generate 143,000 megawatt hour of electricity annually, which accounts for 15% savings of our electricity bill.
This is really inspiring because I think you are also one of the first companies in SPETA to have done this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to encourage the other members to also come on board.
Welcome to this room. Over here, we can monitor our machines, our energy, now that you've seen the sensors, and also our solar panels. So for our energy sensors, the ones that we saw just now, they're all correlated to the dashboard over here. Okay. So we can specifically monitor the overview of all of our energy sensors across our 30 machines.
Right.
So from the monitoring that we've done so far, we find out that our compressors are actually the highest usage. And then for our solar panels, this dashboard will allow us to monitor how much is generated on a daily, monthly, and yearly basis. And then also the revenue that we can generate from our solar panels that would help offset our electricity bill.
I think really learning from PLC's experience, I will be able to more effectively advocate for these solar installations and energy efficiency projects amongst the other SPETA members. As we mentioned before, energy monitoring helps you to reduce your overall energy use. Solar helps to replace your energy use with a renewable source of energy. There's already a few who are considering and finalizing their solar plans. So hopefully after today, we can help to push it through and finalize this.
After a month of measurements, Abid's team from the Singapore Institute of Technology are ready to share Ichiseki's energy usage profile. They've spent a month collecting and assessing data of the firm's energy usage. Abid has some recommendations on how Ichiseki could be more energy efficient.
So this is just to kind of give an overview about this place. There are 3 floors, then about 22 employees, and these are the operating hours. This is air compressor. We did some analysis on the air compressor whereby we can find out if there's any leakage in the air compressor system. And then we found out that about 18% of the compressed air is being leaked. This is mainly covering our recommendation on the air conditioning system. So there are a total of 16 air conditioners. The refrigerants are 22, which kind of shows us that they are old air conditioner, and probably maybe it's the time to look into them for the replacement. There will be about 43% of savings.
Most of the recommendations focused on how we can upgrade to more energy efficient equipment on these 2 fronts. So I'm feeling pretty confident that we will go ahead and actually upgrade some of our equipment and really have tangible cost and energy savings through energy efficient projects. We're back at Certec Engineering again to witness the installation of their solar panels on their roof. So after learning from the PLC experience, actually Elise and her team in Certec decided that they will go ahead with their solar project as well. So Elise, how many panels are there altogether on your roof?
It's about 256 panels. So if you realize that each of the panel have their individual identifications, that's for future maintenance use.
So you mentioned that how much of an energy bill will it contribute in terms of the percentage it will reduce?
It is about 20%. The return of investment is about 6 years. But after that 14 years, we will be able to save about 750,000.
Many of the SME business owners that I come into contact with, they absolutely want to do the best thing for the future generations. So it's all about whether the economics is feasible and then whether there is solutions in the market that are tailored to SMEs' needs. I really hope that in the next 2 to 3 years, there is a real uptake of solar for those businesses that can adopt it, because that's what we really do need here in Singapore. I have rejoined Ichiseki and the precision engineering sector for only slightly over a year. And what I've been trying to do really is find very practical, tangible ways to introduce sustainability into the sector so that we can all be part of this greater movement towards achieving the green plan.
我们是非常尊重他的决定。在当时，对我们来说，这个可持续性发展、环保、节能省碳这种理念并不普及。但是呢，他秉持着他自己的这种理念呢，他坚持要在这个领域里面去发展。那我想，他对环保的理念是很强烈的，他必须跟我们现有的这个管理团队。 虚心的向他们学习，磨合，然后对这个生意的模式，结合他的理念，慢慢的把这个生意模式做一些改变，需要一段时间来考验和磨练呢。
I think that where we are at with climate change today in Singapore is that a lot of people know about the problems. A lot of people are trying to do their part for it, wondering what they can do about it.
Just to lay it.
So I'm hoping that give it another year and we have a little group of precision engineering folks who are passionate about sustainability and really want to make it work. So I always go back to a favorite quote of mine from a lady named Margaret Mead. And she said, never doubt that a group of caring and committed citizens can change the world, because indeed it's the only thing that ever has.